What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Malcolm Tibbs. I'm 26 years old right now, and at the age of 24, I was able to retire myself using some of my veteran benefits. Now, I've been doing self-improvement for around 8 years, and in that time, I've made a ton of mistakes. I've read a ton of books. I've learned a lot of lessons. One of the bigger lessons that I've learned is the importance of dating and finding a significant other, and that's usually what I like to talk about on this channel. But today, we're going to be taking a more zoomed out perspective on self-improvement as a whole. And I guess really tackling what you should be doing around your mid-20s, right? So I'm 26. I was 25 about 40 something days ago, right? So just turned 26. And like I said earlier, I was able to retire myself 2 years ago with some of my benefits that I was able to get serving inside the United States Air Force. The big takeaway that I want you to have for this video is you want to be building capacity, right? So you need to imagine things like this is a video game and you've gone through all the basic levels, you beat the main boss, right? And as you're going through all the like level 1 and level 2 and level 3, right? Every time you level up, you unlock so much stuff, right? And it's exciting, it's fun, you know, you're learning how to read, you're learning how to walk, you're making new friends, right? You're learning your times tables and division, and you know, you're getting all these useful skills, right? But eventually you hit the part of the video game where it's just grinding. It's just grinding and you get diminishing returns, okay? It's not like every new month you learn something new or you unlock a new skill, right? Now it takes you years in order to unlock that new skill. And that skill may be something that 10x's your income, and that would be great, right? But personally speaking, once you hit a point where you have passive income or you are financially independent, more money doesn't really change a whole lot, right? And ultimately, at the end of the day, what you're gonna want, at least in my own experience, is happiness, satisfaction with your life, right? More money is always going to improve your satisfaction. It's going to be preferred in almost all instances, but it will not make you happy, all right? It will make it easier for you to be happy. And in some cases, more money might make it easier for you to destroy yourself, right? So you also have to learn how to have money, how to spend money, right? There's a study that's out. It's a pretty old study, but it says after like $70,000 or $80,000 a year, your subjective well-being barely increases as you earn more income, right? So after you have about $80,000 a year and you have a nice house and you have a decent car and you can feed yourself and provide for people, another $50,000, it's almost like you wouldn't know what to spend it on. And you just end up buying these material things that aren't very useful to you. You know, you'll buy like new bookshelves, for example, or maybe you'll throw out all your old dishes and you'll get like new china, like a very nice and like exquisite dining ware, right? And it's like things you don't really need that you think are going to make you happier. And you only get these things because the other people in your income bracket have those things, right? You might throw out your car and get a way faster one with a way higher car note that you don't really need and that you know isn't going to make you happy. But it's like, what else am I going to spend the money on, right? So at a certain point, right, more money doesn't necessarily make you happier, but it's always going to be preferred, okay? You're always going to want to have that money in order to paint whatever it is you want to paint on the canvas that is our world, right? Maybe you want to start a charity and you want to be able to help children in Africa and feed them, right? And you need serious money to do that. Maybe you want to start up a business and be able to employ people in your family, right? You need some sort of capital to get that started. So again, the big takeaway is you want to be building capacity, and what that's going to be looking like once you hit that point of like basic success where, you know, things kind of take care of themselves, it's going to look like you're just grinding. All right. You're going to be grinding. You're not going to be getting a whole lot out of it, at least not immediately. So you need to learn how to be patient, how to like really exercise that discipline muscle. But that is the game. Like the game is going to change slightly once you reach this certain benchmark. Okay. And the way that you build capacity, and this is my own personal list that I have down for myself. You might find that something else or some other things need to be included that might work a little bit better for you. But for myself, it's going to be uploading content. All right. Here's the thing. If you upload content, about 1 in every 10 of the pieces of media that you put out, it's going to like 10x your normal amount of viewers. It's going to bring you new subscribers. It's going to grow your audience, right? The other 9 pieces of content that you put out, it's going to fall flat. It's going to get the normal amount of viewers. And that's pretty much just going to be the people who are already watching your content, who are almost like dedicated to what you have to say, right? For myself, I'll put out a video and I might get 60, 70 views. And then every once in a while, I have a video that goes out and it gets like 500 views. And then I'll actually get a jump in my subscribers and I'll start getting comments and stuff. But that is a consistent trend, right? And my subscribers haven't gone down since I started uploading content. And if you're going to be doing anything in terms of entrepreneurship, you're going to need an audience, all right? And the way you build an audience is, of course, upload the content, all right? And expect the content to not do too well, right? You're really aiming for that 10%, that 1 in every 10 videos or shorts, whatever it is, that's going to do well and it's going to expand your reach, okay? Now, the second thing that you're going to want to do is work out vigorously. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like I turned 26 and like I started to see myself as old, or like I'm unk now or something, but I feel old, right? And I feel as I notice that my body isn't necessarily performing as well as it used to. You know, I used to be in the Air Force, 21, 22 years old, and I was spending like 3 hours in the gym every day. And now it's like I wake up and my back kind of hurts, right? And my shoulders kind of tweaking. And it's like, fuck, this is only going to get worse if I don't start to take care of these things, you know? So on top of like working out vigorously, going to the gym, hitting those PRs, lifting the weights, looking good, right? You always want to look good as a man, especially as a man. You want to be doing like the little things, the physical therapy things, you know, like your rotator cuff things and working on your spinal erectors and your back. You want to be taking care of the things that are going to make you functional as you get older, right? Because I don't know about you, but personally, when I'm 40, 50 years old, the last thing that I want is to be waking up and I can't pick up my daughter, or I can't do a little sprint with my son down the neighborhood street. Like, that sounds awful, right? And I feel like I'm getting a taste of that now that I'm 26 and I'm not performing as much as I used to. Not only am I not working out as much as I used to, but my performance is starting to slip, you know, and I'm waking up with these aches. Not necessarily pains, but like aches. And it's like, I would really hate for this to get worse. And that's the thing. It is going to get worse, right? So you almost don't get that free pass anymore. You know, like your youth has expired and you're going to have to start actually doing work to not feel like shit. All right. So you want to work out vigorously. That's going to include cardio. That's going to include lifting the weights, and that's going to include physical therapy. Okay. The next thing is meditate. There is nothing else in this world that actually produces happiness in me like meditation. And it's so weird that I always find myself wanting to achieve some goal or wanting to add something to my house. And then I'm like, then I'll be happy, you know? And I have to remind myself. It's not something that I need to learn. It's something that I need to remind myself, right? It seems as if the mind almost has this default perspective in which it like chooses to be unsatisfied, and it always thinks the remedy is going to be more, right? But in truth, letting go of your insatiability is how you become happy. Like being able to just take a minute and just focus on your breath and actually developing that skill, right? And of course, meditation does so much more for you, but personally speaking, just for quality of life, for actual satisfaction and happiness, like there's going to be building the capacity, which is like the big takeaway that I want you to have from this video. But also, you want to be happy, right? You want to be happy. And meditation, that is just how you be happy, right? If there's one practice, if there's one exercise to do, which makes you happy, that we have studies, like thousands of hundreds, you know, we have the evidence. You meditate, it makes you happier, right? And it's not like this is a big ruse where like a bunch of people are just trying to get you to sit down and not do anything and not be productive. Like, there's nothing to be gained from all these people and all these studies suggesting that. Like, it generally just does make you happier, and that's just what the evidence says. So again, this is your life. You're not going to be here forever. You might as well do what you can to make it enjoyable, right? Because the mind has this default perception in which you almost are never satisfied, right? That seems to be our biggest problem as people, is our insatiability, our ambition. It's never enough, right? Now, next up, you want to be doing your nutrition. A lot of this is just doing the basics. All right. If you just wake up and you do the bare minimum every single day and you just don't skip anything, you're going to age well. You're going to be in a good position later on in life. Okay. But excuse me. Do your nutrition, take your multivitamins, start doing it every day. Make sure you're getting your 200 grams of protein, or I believe it's 1 gram of protein for every centimeter of height that you are. So for me, that's around 180, 200. That's what I shoot for. But get your protein in, especially as a man who's training and lifting weights. You want to get your protein. You want to be making sure you're hitting all your macros, right? So you're on point when it comes to your fat and your carbs. Take all the supplements that you should be taking, all of that stuff. And again, you're going to know your own body chemistry. You're going to know which things work for you and which things don't. But on top of that, you're going to want to avoid all drugs, right? Caffeine, for myself, to be included. I feel like I just perform better without caffeine. I'm more productive, way less anxious. I sleep way better. I'm more focused, all of that, right? Don't be smoking weed. It makes you lazy. Don't be drinking alcohol. It literally just kills your brain cells, right? It's acceptable at a certain age for you to be outside and having fun and trying different things. But once you're 25, 26, 27, it's just come on, dude. You got to grow up, get your shit together. And then the final thing that you're going to want to be doing every day is actually doing work. And work is going to be something that we define as per unit of work, right? We get X amount of money. So if you're not producing money, if you're not getting any income as an output of your behavior, then you're not doing any work. So just answering a bunch of emails or, whatever else you may be doing phone calls, but you're not getting any money at the end of the day, you didn't do work. All right. So those are going to be the basics that you're going to want to do every single day to build capacity, to actually age well. And here's the thing, it's not going to be all that exciting. It's going to be pretty repetitive. It's going to be pretty boring. But the alternative is for you to engage in self-destruction, pretty much, right? You're going to be partying and doing substances and just making it so that you age worse, so that you are less capable when those opportunities do arise. You are not in the position to actually act upon them, right? A big thing for me, I wanted to employ my nephews and my family, and they're at the age where they're starting to ask me for money. And I was hoping that by this time I could give them a position to work at, and I can't. I just haven't done the work, right? So big wake up call for me. That's kind of why I'm making this video. Maybe you're in a similar position to myself and you might have gotten something good out of this. As a sixth thing that I didn't say that doesn't necessarily apply to me, but it may apply to you. If you don't have that significant other, you should be dating, all right? Hop on a dating app. Make sure you go outside, get those phone numbers, 1 or 2 phone numbers every single day. And again, it's just reps. It's just volume. You continue to do it. Eventually, you're going to end up getting that reward, or you're going to get that outcome, right? Maybe it's a 1% conversion. Maybe it's like a 10% conversion, right? And that means you only need to get 10 phone numbers. But you want to be doing it every day. You're going to perform better when you're in a team, right? And all that takes is one other person. Make yourself a unit. You're going to have this totem of reinforcement inside of your life. It's going to be encouraging you to continue doing these good habits and these good behaviors. And it's just going to be all around good for you. And I wish that I was dating more when I was in the military and when I was younger. I feel like I just would have transitioned into this age with a lot more to show for myself. But that's what I have for you guys. If you guys like this, drop a like on the video, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.